I'm curious to know what you think about what happened on January 6th.
Oh man, it's like a whole other thing. I was going to say though, one thing is, I wrote a Twitter thread on the removal of Donald Trump, and one of the most, there's a lot of interesting things about it, but one of the most interesting things is that they reviewed his tweets internally and decided that he had not violated their terms of service, and they had no basis for deplatforming him. And then they spent 24 hours making one up, under outside pressure, under internal and outside pressure,
Okay.
but just to kind of, there's still people that defend old Twitter. And I think it's important to know that they were not making principled decisions. They were making this shit up as they went. And then they caved in to the intelligence agencies and the mob, even though they would look at it and they were objective and they were like, didn't violate our terms of service, should stay up. And they got rid of him anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, I don't think we know what happened on January 6th. There was at least 200 confidential human sources there that day. I think Tucker Carlson just made this point that the two people that are on record urging an invasion of the Capitol have not been prosecuted. And you hear they've sent all these grannies and others to jail because they followed the mob in, thinking that there was some sense in which it would be okay. And obviously they shouldn't have done that, but clearly it was entrapment. It was like mass entrapment aimed at creating, it had so many purposes: discrediting Trump, discrediting MAGA, making it look like a violent insurrection, creating a predicate for censorship, creating a perception of, it got the numbers up of like extremism. There's all this extremism because you can count all these arrests. There's still this whole mystery of this pipe bomb that was supposedly left outside the RNC and the DNC that nobody's gotten to the bottom of. The Secret Service deleted all of its text messages from that day, and they go, we don't know how to.
It's like a teenager, right? Or like a guy has been caught cheating. It's like, oh, where did all your text messages go? That's weird.
Megan, there was no backup. There was nobody had thought to back up the text messages. I mean, even the Washington Post, which is one of the most servile, just terrible state propaganda publications, even the Washington Post has a whole story on it, and they're like nothing in this checks out at all. Like, they couldn't get any independent cybersecurity experts to suggest that maybe they really had accidentally deleted all the text messages. I mean, even you can't maintain your credibility and hold that position. So, it's awful, because in some ways I think other people do know that there was entrapment and that there was that was staged in an important sense. I think like good liberals know that, and they don't care. They're like, well, that's, they're just kind of justified because they just convince themselves that Trump is a threat to democracy.